Hello everyone, my name is Yesenia, and for this project, I chose to interview Nancy Sanchez. And the reason why I chose to interview her is because she is an ASD, which is a assistant store director. And for my career, I'm interested in the business field, and I basically want to own my own business. I want to know how to manage um a business on my own, and that's basically what Nancy does. She basically runs the whole store, even though like it's not really hers. Like she doesn't own it, but she still makes sure about everything being done correctly, and she makes sure everybody completes their tasks. Um the first things that I talked to her about, I kind of asked her if she thinks that communication is important in her career. And as I answer this question, I'm also going to talk about the next one I asked because it's kind of related to it. For the second question, I asked her, why do you think that communication is important to your career? And she automatically said yes to communication being basically key to her job, because as a store director, she kind of has to talk to everyone. She has to communicate with her workers, and if there's like a problem with anything like a customer, then she has to figure something out. And she said that it was important because, like I said, it's key. So just I guess communication is basically important to anything if you really think about it. From there, we moved on to talk about the kinds of communications that she uses in her career, like verbal, nonverbal, group communication, public communication, or digital. And she talked to me about using more verbal communication than anything else. She, like I said, she talks to all the employees and just everyone there working. And she also mentioned how, of course, we have new technologies where we kind of rely on our phones more. And she talked about how she emails a lot of her workers and they text each other to communicate about the job, which I found really interesting because it's more common now to like call or like text your manager or something. And moving on from that, we talked about the ways that she uses communication in her workplace. And she talked to me about how she uses communication daily, and the techniques that she chooses kind of varies on like the person she's working with, like the individual in general. And it also varies for her on the group personality traits, which I thought was interesting because everyone has their own way to communicate, everyone has their own styles, and I feel like I've never really heard her version from anyone. And she also told me about how she focuses a lot on like body language and eye contact and effective listening. And for this part, I was kind of like, that's kind of all we learned in class. We learned a lot about that, those like kind of characteristics. And I thought it was cool how she really understood the term of communication and why it's needed. And then just lastly, I ended our conversation with asking her for any advice, like any advice she would give people that are interested in similar career paths as me and her, which is in the business career. And I thought that the advice that she gave me was actually really, I'm actually considering it a lot because she advised me to follow the 7 C's of communication, which 7 C's stands for clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. And I don't think I've ever heard about that. We might have gone over it in class, but I think that's the best advice you can give someone in any career, honestly, not just like the business career, because Like I said previously, communication is key and it's needed in your daily life. And she mentioned how using this technique makes the employees more responsive, and it encourages everyone in the workplace to actually work and focus more on the job. And that's basically all I learned. I learned a lot from this experience. I feel like me and Nancy really kind of went deeper with like the term communication. And I feel like what I found the most interesting was the fact that she mentioned a lot of what we learned in class. So I found this class and this interview really useful, and it gave me a greater understanding on what to expect and what to do for my career as a business owner someday. And yeah, that's it.